This is the fourth take of the intro. I keep on screwing it up, but you are tuned into the Feelings First Facts Later podcast, and this is the 66th episode with Nathan Mitchell and Cristina, and we appreciate you rocking with us, and we apologize for the delay. This time it was on me. I was feeling a little bit under the weather this time around, but I'm reloaded, and I'm back up in this thing, and we're ready to rock out. As long as I don't sound too crazy on the microphone.
No, I don't think so.
No, okay. But today should be a fun discussion. We are going to double tap, triple tap, quadruple tap this, and I say that because we've talked about this subject multiple times.
Yeah.
But the male alpha male versus the beta male.
I don't think we've done it like that before.
No, not like this.
So while we have talked about alpha male, I don't think we've compared it so much to a beta male.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And how it's not a bad thing to be a beta male.
Right. So no, this is not a slamming. And I feel like we never really slammed.
No, I don't think we did. But
betas.
I feel like as a society, it's like, oh, if you're not an alpha male, this is like, let's be real. Most men are not alpha males. Well, as much as men would love to claim that.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with it.
That's why I liked this list.
Right. It shows both sides.
Yeah, the pros of both. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I actually, after looking at it, I want to talk about the cons of alpha, because I think there are a lot of cons with alpha, and I'm sure there are cons with beta, but I didn't really.
And within the context of relationships, I think
100%, and that's
really important.
And that's where I'm going with that. The cons when it comes to being in a relationship with someone of that alpha energy, state of mind, whatever you want to call it. But before we get into it, I do have a topic that I want to talk about. And this is certainly no facts, all feelings about this. And I actually thought that this was kind of interesting and more so ironic that, and of course, nothing happens by chance, right? Timing is...
Well, when it comes to like what's presented to us,
right, as far as what the media decides to put out.
For sure.
Right. There's a purpose to everything, and these things happen for a reason. But I did think it was interesting that this article came out right after the Jeffrey Dahmer Netflix TV series. You know, it became this big thing, and it was the hot button topic. Everyone wanted to talk about it. And one of the things that people were talking about was what made him this way. Why was he this way?
Yeah.
Right. And one of the main topics, or one of the main things that people were kind of gearing towards why this person turned out to be the way he was, had to do with what could have happened to him during pregnancy. Right.
While in the womb still.
While in the womb. Yeah. Right. Was his mother taking anything? Because I guess his mother was on medication.
The show said that she was taking 20-something pills a day. I guess she was a very depressed and anxious woman.
Correct.
Especially during pregnancy.
Correct. So.
And this is what, in the 50s? She said she was pregnant. So during a time where there was like no... I mean, I think women were encouraged to smoke even at that time.
Right. Everything was good.
Right. You could probably drink alcohol.
Yeah.
So taking pills, I'm sure, was not a big deal at all.
Yeah. I love how you just stirred that on the microphone.
I did?
Yeah.
Good. I'm giving you something to do.
Yeah, I don't think that's coming out. I don't think that's coming out.
You'll fix it in post.
But I found it very interesting that the news decided to pick up on a story basically stating that research has been showing, more so recent research has been showing, that antidepressants, or taking antidepressants while you're pregnant, they didn't say little to no effect. They said has less of an impact than what people think it does on the development of the child. Right.
Okay.
Now, one of the, like, I guess the way they opened this up, and this is kind of like the main thing that they were going off of, was antidepressant use during pregnancy was not associated with autism, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, aka ADHD, behavioral disorders, developmental speech, language, learning, and coordination disorders, or intellectual disorders. According to a study of over 145,000 women and their children across the United States, followed for up to 14 years, the study was published Monday in a journal, JAMA Internal Medicine. I'm not too familiar with JAMA, so I'm not sure how legitimate it is, but I'm guessing it's probably pretty legitimate if they're citing that. But they say that they were following these people from, I guess, birth to 14.
Okay.
And they studied all these women, and I'm sure they had a controlled group where they were looking at women that were possibly given placebos, clearly women that have had or have some sort of issues that require them to go on antidepressants, right? And so during the study, it appears that they have found out that, and this was their quote, that it has less of an impact on the child than expected. Now, they kept on using that terminology, which I thought was interesting because they never said it has no impact on it.
Right.
Which I'm glad that they didn't say it because that to me is that would just be lying. There's no way in hell that something has zero impact on anything. And I would say that about anything, not just antidepressants, just anything in general, especially when you're talking about the matters of a woman being pregnant and then taking a medication. I mean, women have to watch what they eat because it affects the baby. Women have to watch, and this kind of ties into this, right? Their stress levels, everything impacts the child, right? Mood, everything. Yeah. So how would it be that antidepressants have zero effects?
Zero.
But they didn't say that, so I thought that was responsible on their part.
Yeah.
The only thing that I thought was really shaky was the verbiage because, first of all, you can't even gauge how everyone feels about antidepressants while being pregnant.
And I think it's important to say too, like in no way are we trying to be insensitive to women who have to, because there's women who, if they don't take them, they can't function.
No, not
or
at all.
God knows, what ends up happening potentially. So it's just like for some women, it's probably best case scenario to take it while pregnant because it could be way worse, especially with hormones the way they are.
Right.
During pregnancy. And I would assume most people, even if you don't want to, you might have to. You might not have a choice.
And just to be clear, we're not saying that if you take antidepressants while you're pregnant, you're going to end up with a Jeffrey Dahmer. We're not saying that at all. And since we're on the groove of kind of like being PC and just making sure that our intentions are well known, I just want to throw that out there because we did mention Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah. I was only mashing those two together because I thought it was ironic that this TV show came out, which had to do with a sociopath whose mother allegedly was taking medications to include possibly antidepressants. And then now this article comes out because I imagine since this movie came out, a lot of women that were pregnant or looking to be pregnant were asking their physicians about taking antidepressants while pregnant and what the side effects can be. Because and that's just how we are as a society. Right? Yeah. For instance, and I'm going to get back on track, so I'm just going to digress for a little bit.
Okay.
I had a patient of mine the other day telling me that he was a scuba instructor years ago. And when he was 18, and he's in his 50s now, but when he was 18, he graduated high school. He was a scuba instructor. He was making tons and tons of money. This is in California, making good money. This was going to be his lifelong thing.
He was passionate about it.
Had a good life for himself. All of a sudden, business starts to tank. Why? Because the movie Jaws came out.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
And so when the movie Jaws came out, he said all of his clients canceled. And not only him, but a shit ton of scuba instructors in that area ended up having to find different careers because they could not find clientele that were willing to get in the waters because of the impact that Jaws had on society.
That's crazy.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
Which is wild. So I say all that to say it's no surprise that if someone sees a movie or someone sees a TV series, especially something that is kind of American history, because Jeffrey Dahmer has been known well before this Netflix series has aired. But of course, people will have questions. People will want to know things, just like people would be afraid to get in the water. People would now be afraid to possibly take any sort of thing while pregnant
Yeah.
because they don't want to run the risk of having a child that might have sociopathic tendencies. So,
Or even if to not that extreme, just maybe asking more questions about it.
right. And I know I'm talking about the extreme, and I know this right here listed other things which are more common, such as autism, ADHD.
But I'm surprised I didn't
learning
touch on
disorders.
like mental health, anxiety, and depression. I'm interested to know like why that wasn't even touched.
I think maybe that wasn't touched, and this is just the article I'm reading. I'm not sure what the JAMA,
Yeah.
what is it, the JAMA Internal Medicine, what is it called, medical journal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what they laid out.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that this medical journal really laid out some good information. But I think one thing that would really skew, I guess, the findings would be, let's say you are on antidepressants while you're pregnant, and then your child ends up developing issues with depression. Is it the antidepressant use while pregnant, or is it just passed down through genes? Like, is that
Right.
just in your genetics to
Yeah.
have issues with depression? Because it's more, a chemical imbalance, right? So what caused it exactly?
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they didn't touch too much on that. And well, at least in this article, maybe the medical journal went
Yeah.
into better detail,
Yeah.
but that'd be kind of hard to
Right.
tell. I just, and this is why I wanted to talk about it. The one thing that rubs me the wrong way with articles like this, and I know that these articles are just doing what articles do, and they're just trying to get clicks, because obviously this is something that this Netflix series is now getting eyeballs here.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only reason why people are probably looking at this is probably because they're associating what took place on the Netflix show, and now they're seeing this article, like myself, right? But things like this just worry me, because when they say things like, and I know how they worded it, but I know most people will probably take it as, hey, this is nothing to worry about. You could take this medication. It's not going to have any side effects on your child. Again, I know they're not saying this, but that's how a lot of people are probably going to take it.
Yeah.
Right. Because when you just read headlines and then you don't go into the journal, or you don't read this, then you just take it for the way they're spinning it. It creates a space where people will do these things. And I know, like you said, some people, it's just, they can't avoid it, right? Some people, it just needs to happen. And probably for the better health of the mother and the child, that they need to take it. But what about the people out there that might not need to take it, and then now they're taking it, and then you're taking it, giving them the peace of mind, or they're taking it with the peace of mind that, hey, everything's going to be fine. I'm not going to have to worry about it. And to dive deeper, and maybe this is just me being, a conspiracy theorist or whatever, or some people would say, but I don't think this. I think this is just the way the world works, at least in the United States. The physicians that write these prescriptions, right, that make money off the back end and things like that, because that's just how this works, right? The system works. I'm sure they will be, or a lot of them would be the ones to say, hey, this isn't going to have any effect on your child. Go ahead and take this.
Right.
And then I want to know, how not? How would this not have an effect on your child?
Or who's to say? Like how? Right. Maybe it won't, but maybe it would. Like I don't think you can guarantee that either way.
And that's why I don't like it.
Right.
I don't like it. I like the idea that we stay honest with people, and we say, hey, yes, this can have an effect on your child.
We don't know for sure.
We don't know for sure.
There's probably just other factors too, like anything.
And again, the big factor could be, hey, you have depression. More than likely, your kid's probably going to battle with depression too.
Right.
Just because of this is just in your, and I'm sure your mother probably dealt with it too, and whatever, and and it's just going to be that way. But yeah, but even just taking anything affects the child. How would that not affect? Now, one thing that this article did state, and this is to kind of just piggyback on something that we've already mentioned 2 times now, so this is me tripling down on it, was they did say that women that do need to, or that that are prescribed antidepressants and they need to take those medications in order to get through everyday life should continue to take it, and they are more encouraged to take it and typically have healthier outcomes with themselves and the baby because it avoids lack of eating, which then affects the baby, lack of sleep, which affects the baby. It keeps their hormone levels and it keeps everything better balanced, their mental state. So it lowers their stress, obviously, which is good on the baby. So that was a part of the study that they did mention as
Right.
far as encouraging people to do it. And I think that even though what I just said, hey, we shouldn't encourage people or we should,
I think you were just saying be more mindful. Like that people should be more mindful in general. Like because there's some women who do need to take it, but maybe some women who might be okay without it and might not think there's anything wrong with it. So I think just being more honest and mindful about it.
okay. Well, what I was going to say is that I know that I was just saying that I was discouraging the idea of pushing the narrative that it is okay to take them
Right.
while pregnant, right?
Yeah.
The asterisk for that would be it's okay to take them while pregnant because this is what can happen if you truly need this medication and
Yeah.
you not take this while pregnant.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought that was an interesting article.
Hmm.
It is. I love it how it seems that news is only surviving based on what we're getting from
For entertainment.
entertainment. Like it's not surviving in most cases on what's actually going on in the world, which is what it should be reporting.
Yeah.
But oh, hey, this is and I guess it is going on in the world because people are paying attention to this TV show and they're
Or
talking
asking
about it and then
questions.
asking
Yeah.
questions and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
So yes, but it's like they need that leg up from
Netflix.
a story that's based on a true story or based on true
Mhm.
events or however they want to categorize it.
Mm.
Because I know it's not completely.
That show is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's heavy.
It's crazy. The weird part about it, and I'm not surprised because I know we say this all the time, but the weird part about it was after we started watching that show, and the Netflix account is under your name, not
Mhm.
under my name. But it's probably because it's just pinging off our Wi-Fi and collecting, information from the phones and the devices that are within the home. But as soon as I logged into YouTube was giving me true, or comparisons, fact versus fiction of the
Mhm.
documentary versus what really took place and actual court footage and yada, yada, yada. And I've never looked up any of that stuff
Yeah.
before.
Hmm.
But it's just, it's as soon as I'm watching this show, now it assumes that, oh, this is what he's interested in. And this is after one show because we had to put it down after the first episode. We couldn't
Yeah.
just sit there and
It's
binge
too
that.
dark.
We still didn't. At least I didn't finish it. Did you finish it?
No. The
Yeah,
last one I watched was
it's
with
heavy.
you.
It's heavy.
It's too much. I can take
Real
it small doses.
real low
I don't
energy.
even think I could watch it every day, let alone binge watch it.
Not to mention, I know the story, so this is my first time. I'm familiar with
I
him.
guess I don't know all the. Well, I don't know what's really all facts in the show, but
Mhm.
like, yes, I know the story.
Yeah,
Like, you know what he did, but like these details about his life allegedly, I didn't
right.
know all of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I just I love how they found a way to make him look like the victim.
Yeah, people have definitely romanticized
Yeah,
this for sure, and him. It's kind of well, but people do that all the time.
I know.
It's sick, but we do it.
But Netflix made it very easy.
Yeah.
They made it very, very easy, showing this childhood where it looked like he was, abused and verbally.
Definitely, yeah, like
And
he didn't have
then
a great upbringing, so it
his
seems,
right, and then when his bonding with the father being
over cutting shit up.
right mixed in with the use of medication while pregnant.
Yeah.
Now he's the victim, right? So You all right over there? Are you hot?
I'm okay.
Okay. All right. So we keep going.
Yeah.
So the next one, and this is just a kind of I only want to talk about this mainly because we're following up with something we've talked about twice already. But Tom Brady and his wife, Giselle,
Oh, yes. So apparently they are getting divorced.
it appears that they have both hired divorce attorneys,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
goes to show. And the main reason why we spoke about it before, for anyone that hasn't listened to the previous episodes, it was brought up because we were talking about an article that Serena Williams did. Serena, right?
Yeah.
Serena?
Uh-huh.
Okay. That she did when she was talking about her retirement. And in her retirement, she went on a diatribe about how men have the luxury of or not retiring and playing and not having to suffer any consequences and yada, yada, yada. And she brought up Tom Brady's name.
Specifically, yeah.
Specifically, right. And now here we are, not that far down the
It
road.
was like a month later.
And yep. And now it looks like his marriage might be ending. Again, it could be ending for things that we don't know about.
Who's to say that this wasn't already happening? And then
We
he's
don't
like,
know.
you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna go play again because this is gonna be a distraction.
Mhm.
My marriage is over.
Could have been.
You know what I mean? We
don't know.
We are assuming.
Right.
We don't know.
Good. Yeah.
We might
Who
never
knows?
know.
Who knows?
We might know.
But she did release a statement, and I'm not sure she released a statement recently. This was just posted recently, or in this more recent article, or if this is something that she talked about before and they just clipped it in there. But it was saying that this is a very, she said, this is a very violent sport, and I have my children, and I would like him to be more present. I don't know if that was a typo on their end, but this is just how they wrote it, so that's why I'm tripping up on it. And then it says, I have definitely had those conversations with him over and over again, but ultimately I feel that everybody has to make a decision that works for them. He needs to follow his joy too.
There you have it.
So it sounds like she's saying it without saying it, that he chose that over them. Right. So
it sounds so harsh.
Yeah. Which is, I guess, is kind of a perfect segue to that alpha and beta male.
Yeah.
Because if someone's thinking about who an alpha male is, Tom Brady would clearly be an alpha male. And it appears that he chose the pack that he wants to run with for the next.
Sounds so funny.
I'm trying so hard to segue that. That his pack just so happened to be his team instead of
his kids and his wife
and kids.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That's so terrible. Did we intentionally not put the lights on?
Fuck. No.
You need lights, camera, action.
I know.
You gotta write it down.
I know. That means editing this film is going to be.
Or just don't.
Just let it go. Let it ride.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, we're in it now, so it is what it is.
Right.
But no, that was not by design. That was by mistake. See, this is what happens when we're like rushing. I'm off beat. I'm off rhythm. So I'm just.
Right. The setup was not.
The camera's different. It's not even the same camera.
The whole setup is not a typical.
Maybe the iPhone will iPhone. And
okay. Yeah. True.
Do well in low light. So.
Okay.
Yeah. But all the. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So this woman, excuse me, what is she? She calls herself a relationship expert. Love that.
To the point.
So the headline to these breakdowns is, are you choosing alphas or betas?
Right. So this article is geared towards women.
Correct.
Right. And making sure that they choose the right personality.
Or understand what these even mean.
Mm-hmm.
And are you choosing them like maybe on purpose, on accident? Are you choosing the wrong one for you? I guess this could go so many different ways.
Right.
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 Do you want to just read through like the whole alpha breakdown and then the beta one separate?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just trying to figure out how in the world was the microphone put in the right spot before, and now it's not in the right spot.
Did I move down?
I'm guessing so.
Probably to have heartburn. So
'Cause
sitting up too straight is not very comfortable for
well,
me.
you can move down. Just move the microphone down
Okay.
with you.
How's that for now?
That's okay. Move the mic down a little bit.
Down.
Yeah, there we go.
Like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to end up scooting down because this is very uncomfortable.
What do you want to do that? You want to get comfortable now?
Well, for now I'm comfortable, but I don't know what's going to happen in a couple minutes.
Okay. Just break it down.
Right, you might have to remind me.
Don't forget, for some people this is an audio adventure. And even for the video, I mean, we still need to,
Okay. I'm trying.
hear your lovely voice. Okay. So for the alpha male, some of the characteristics that are associated with this is assertive, clear about what they want, and take initiative, right?
Okay.
Number 2, create boundaries and lets them be known.
Mm-hmm.
3, handle conflict head on and then moves on. 4, prioritize their well-being first so they have the energy to serve others. 5, focus on change and problem solving with full accountability of the outcome. 6, ignite desire and passion within women and create deep connections. 7, have a strong trust for themselves and their ability to discern. 8, an obsession with excellence and continuous hunger for growth. 9, face their inner demons and will seek out expert advice to heal. And 10, extremely confident in the bedroom.
I like how she closes with that
Yeah.
one.
So these are her thoughts about the alpha male. Obviously, this isn't the end all be all of what an alpha male is or what a beta male is. This is just another
A breakdown based on
thought.
like what I think the true core things about what an alpha is. She's just
Right.
taking pieces of it.
I just felt the need to throw that out there for someone
Yeah.
was like, oh, that doesn't sound right. Okay, well, that's why this doesn't sound. It's because this
Right.
is just this is from her ideas. Do you want to do the beta?
You can do it.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So we're not going to talk about what that all means. Like we're just going to go through both. Well, I'll let you. I'll follow your lead.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So beta men, relaxed, contemplating what they want and take their time, hint at the problem or may be indirect to keep the peace, avoid conflict and may endure discomfort for your comfort, agreeable and seek peace for a copacetic environment, face challenges carefully and considerately as to demonstrate empathy. Jesus, they so complex. Demonstrate hero instincts through reliability, rescue, and romance. Which one is this? 7, respect the outlines set by others and isn't motivated by competition. 8, treats others as their equal and doesn't value power struggles. 9, recognize their weaknesses and steer clear of constant reminders. And 10, careful and considerate in the sheets. My brain is fried. This is dumb. not the beta men part. You know why?
Why?
Because I'm trying to read this at the same time, comprehend it, and formulate what I
You're
want.
doing too much. Just read it.
No. And formulate what I want to say about it.
I know,
Because
but
this is a podcast. So
I could tell. Like when you're reading it, it's like you're reading it, and there's probably like a million other things going on.
100%, because I want to talk about it. And like, oh, well, this is what I want to say about that. This is what I want to say about that. But I have to read this next one. So that's why my head hurts right now.
That was a lot. You did good.
All right. So, what are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts?
No, and I'm pitching it to you because this is clearly targeted towards you. This is an article that's targeted towards women
Right.
that are seeking a man. More than likely, they're of the mindset that they want an alpha because that's what
What you
everyone's saying. I need an
fear.
alpha, 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 alpha,
Right. You
alpha,
want a
alpha.
leader and
Right.
man to take initiative. But do you really, though?
Right.
And then I think since we don't hear about what the positives of a beta man are,
Mm-hmm.
then when you read this list, if you're honest with yourself as a woman,
Mm-hmm.
what would you really prefer?
Right.
Maybe not the list each in its entirety, but that was what crossed my mind when I read it. And then I also was thinking, okay, well, what type of characteristics would a woman have to be a good match for either an alpha or a beta? Because just because you want an alpha doesn't mean you're the right woman for an alpha man.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I liked this. I thought it was very interesting.
Okay. So, what?
So those were my thoughts. So okay, so are we gonna excuse me, break down what it is, and then I guess I would have an opinion about what that would look like for a woman.
Okay. Right. So, in alpha, for the alpha,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on the alpha? Because it doesn't sound like that this person is going to be the type of person that's going to be it's my way or the highway, yada yada yada. It just sounds like a person that's pretty much going to stand their ground, going to let you know
Kind of, it could
what
be
time
my
it
way
is.
or the highway.
It could be my way, but it's not stated as my way or the highway. At least in
But I
any of
think
this
if
right
there
here.
is gonna be a man, if it's my way or the highway, it would be an alpha versus a beta man.
Of course.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that it's basically packaged in a way where it looks like this person can still be romantic and still be
Right.
a loving, caring person, just doing it in this way versus the other way. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
Typically, that my way or the highway person isn't someone that is doing it with the intentions to lead, because just because it's my way or the highway, it doesn't mean you're actually leading someone. You're just saying,
Setting
hey,
your
if it's
ways.
right,
Yeah.
right, you're setting your ways. That's where I'm getting at. It's
Yeah.
not that type of person. It's the type of person that is going to have the qualities to lead in a way where they're leading from the front, as opposed to, hey, if you're not following my footsteps, then you're going to get lost, because that's not leading anyone.
Right.
That's just an asshole. Like, that's a
Yeah.
completely
True.
different thing.
Yeah. Right.
Because I think that is one of the things that gets lost in conversations when people talk about the alpha versus the beta. There are some people that are just lone wolves
Yeah.
and they operate that way. And
Right.
so the alpha is a term that's typically used for someone that is within a pack of people, and this person is the lead person within that pack.
Yeah.
If you're operating as if you're the solo entity, even if you're with someone and you're still operating with that solo mind state of, hey, just follow me and I'll lead you to the promised land. Don't ask any questions. That's not necessarily an alpha. They're not leading you.
Right.
You're just following along with someone that's just going about things blindly. Or maybe they have an agenda, but they don't have the team in mind. It is just,
Correct.
this is me, and
Yeah.
if get yours with me. If not, then
Right, because it should still be a partnership.
right. In my opinion, and I could be wrong, I'm not saying that that person would be the same type of person that I will call an alpha as what this woman is characterizing as an alpha male.
No, yeah.
And what I have read in other texts.
Okay.
So that's why I said what I said there. So
Is that what I said?
what is your idea?
Well, with that part, then it
Uh-huh.
would be like you would have to be a woman
Mm-hmm.
who is okay with her man leading. Not that it means you don't have an opinion or you can't formulate plans together about where you're going, but you have to be able to fall back and be like, okay, we could do this together,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm comfortable with you taking the lead and following your lead. And even if you can't agree on something, it might have to be that you have to let him decide. And are you okay with that?
And when that happens, you just let it happen.
Right. Yeah.
Because there's nothing more frustrating than when you ask for someone to take the lead and then they take it, and then now you
You're fighting it.
want to fight it, complain about it, or whatever you want to call it.
And I guess then what happens, let's say if you let the man take the lead and it doesn't turn out? Do you say I told you so?
So that's another thing that's a little side thing that I wanted to talk about is the downside of being the true alpha in a relationship is just like any team, right, that you're in. When everything's going well, you can get the glory, but you're not always going to get the glory. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But anytime things go bad, it's always your fault. Look at any leader that we look at, like a world leader, like the president or anything like that. The president could do great things. People typically don't talk about the great things that the president does. I'm not talking about this current president, but I'm just talking about in general.
Yeah.
Throughout history, presidents have done things to help people, right?
Yeah.
They typically don't get the praise at the time
As much
for
as
the
they get
things
shit
that they
on.
have done.
Yeah.
But let a president do one wrong thing, then now it's all your fault. That doesn't necessarily mean that person is a bad leader,
Right.
because we're just focused on the bad. It's just how we're programmed as followers. People want to look at the leader and they want to find chinks in their armor, find reasons.
Or when things go wrong, you want to blame somebody.
Right. You want to blame somebody.
Yeah.
And the person that should take the blame should be the leader. I guess in this case, the relationship. But I just use that president or that leader analogy because that's just how we operate with anything.
Yeah.
So if you are the leader in the relationship, whether you're the alpha male, alpha female, whatever you want to call it, and things go south because of a decision that you made, whether it be an event that you're, doing, or even how the relationship is handled and operated as far as, the interpersonal connection, communication goes. If that fails, then it's on you. Even if you weren't the reason why it failed.
Okay.
Because that's your failed leadership.
Yeah.
Given that you took that role and that's what you've done.
And then I guess my head goes to, as a woman who is with an alpha male, when those moments happen, I would think a woman who is good for that man would not shit on him and bring him down and place blame. So you would have to be the type of woman to be like, it's okay, babe. We'll figure this out. We'll try something else. Not bring him down when shit goes wrong.
Right. And that's where that dynamic between
I would think that would have to be important.
And then that's where that ongoing debate goes, well, who's really in lead of the relationship, or who's the head of the relationship? Is it the male or the female? And this is just typical in a lot of relationships that you see, right? There's always that joke where, the man leads and he's the head of the household and da. But then there's that silent, like, the women go, but we let him think that because of the things that you all do to uplift us and put us in the position.
Support,
You see what I'm saying? Which I guess what was it? Like the man's the head, but the woman's the neck or something like that. Like the head doesn't go without the neck or something along the lines of that. So it is this synergy that takes place, and is, when it's done well, then it's a well-oiled machine, right?
Yeah.
But at some point, and this is where these personality breakdowns, and that's basically what this is. This is a personality breakdown, right? Where this personality breakdown kind of highlights, okay, you as a woman, these are, if you had to break personalities down into two different categories, alpha, beta, right? Which one better suits you and which one should you go after? And if you are going to go after the alpha, can you handle what comes with being an alpha, right? And, we see this in our relationship, and I'm not calling myself an alpha or anything like that. I said this on this podcast. I don't categorize myself in any of these things because it's not for me to do. Right. I think that this is for something that someone else should do, outsider looking in,
Yeah.
or you, or whatever you in. And
Right.
that would be who would be a better determining factor, simply because I believe that other people's perception of me is a more accurate description of who I am versus my perception of me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I could think that I'm everything,
No, I get it.
and then people go, but you're this, and then okay, well
Well, I mean, I wouldn't call you a beta man. That's for sure.
but what I'm saying, either way, whether alpha or beta,
Yeah.
I have a strong personality.
Yes.
Right. And so that strong personality can either make you very, very happy, right? And I can provide a lot of joy and a lot of love.
You're talking about specifically?
Just in general.
Oh, in general. Okay.
Me.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
And all the good things that come with, or all the good side that comes with having a strong personality.
Yes.
Can be the best thing that happens to this relationship. Right.
Uh-huh.
But along with my strong personality, when the flip occurs, if I'm upset, then that energy, that strong personality, that strong energy is felt.
Yeah.
And can be the downfall to the relationship because of the impact that I have on you.
Right.
Or even the neutral, right? And we've had these conversations where there'll be times where I would just be neutral, where I'm not being extra, I'm not being, super strong or over the top like I usually would.
But even your neutral is strong.
But if I'm neutral, then that could cause risk because it's that downward. It's like a heavy drop. I'm not upset or anything like that. I'm just like, I'm just, whatever. I'm playing it cool or whatever you want to call it. But then it appears that there's something wrong, and that changes a lot of things. So I say all that to say, if you're in the the market for someone that has that stronger personality, then there can be that good and there can be that bad that comes with it. Some people might always be on the up and up. I'm not one of those people where you're only going to get the positive and nothing.
I mean,
right?
We're human.
But because my personality is the way it is, when I am up, it's like high, and then if I'm upset, it could be bad, and not bad to the point where I'm yelling and I'm screaming. It's none of that shit. But
Yeah.
that energy, and more so than anything, as far as like what I do,
Right.
That energy is put out there and it's radiated, and then a lot of times, even if you're in the wrong, or if I'm in the wrong, more so when you're
I like how you try to be nice about it.
yeah. It still becomes my role to make sure that things are repaired and addressed and fixed the way they're supposed to be fixed. Because if I sit there and wait for you to do it, which one would say, well, you're the one who did something wrong, it should be you to bring it up and you should apologize, and that's how the conversation should start, right? If I wait on you to do it, more than likely it's not going to happen. But let's say no, hold on tight, because you already know. But let's say it doesn't happen, and now we're looking at night 2, night 3, night 4 of problems. I start thinking in my head, I should say something because I know she's not going to do it. Not because I feel like I should say something because I know you're not going to do it and you don't give a fuck, because I know you and I know my people. So it's up to me to make sure that this is handled the way it needs to be handled in order to get the relationship back on track of where it needs to be.
Yeah.
But I say all that to say, I don't even know where I was going. I say all that to say, there's a positive and negative in everything.
No, I agree.
Right. My original thought process was, if you want somebody that's going to be, just know that can make you feel either way at any moment.
Yeah.
And it is what the fuck it is.
Right.
But with that, the good of that would be, okay, if that person's doing it the right way, if there was a downward slope, then they should be able to kick in the gear to bring it back
Yeah.
up to where it needs to be.
Right.
So I guess that's where I was originally trying to go, and I lost it and I got it back. Boom. Now but the upside with dealing with someone that would be I hate beta. I wish there was a different word for it than beta, because beta just sounds like second best
Or less than. Right.
Because even in this right here, it's not this person, this beta person is not a less than person.
No, it's just different.
There is a space where this person could be a better person. I would imagine that how often for most women, right? The amount of time that they're going to spend being happy might be with this beta man. And I say this because this person is avoiding conflict, right?
Yeah.
And may endure discomfort for your comfort, right?
Right.
Watch this. That would be in this scenario, right? And we've been in this scenario plenty of times where you might be feeling some type of way that has nothing to do with me.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And even though I know it has nothing to do with me, I still confront you when you give me shit, or it feels like you're coming at me sideways, even though I know you're not coming at me sideways for anything that I did, and I check you on it, right? That beta would have just understood what it was and would have let it slide. That person would have avoided an entire conflict that you and I had because of me checking you, giving me attitude for something someone else has done.
You're right.
Simply because even though I know that you're not giving me attitude for anything that I have done wrong, I find it unfair that I have to be the one
to receive that
energy from you
right.
that I didn't put you in.
Right. I know.
But that also comes from a deeper what do I want to call it, trigger, where I'm looking at who the fuck got my woman feeling some type of way other than how I want her to feel. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's flicking all kind of switches, and then that's gonna boom. Flicking all kind of switches, and now I'm addressing it with you,
right?
But only because you're the one giving me the attitude, and I want that to change.
Right.
While this person would have avoided that, which is why I'm saying,
no, I get it.
Percentage wise,
I understand.
And I'm not saying you would have a better time with this person, because again, everyone requires different things. But what I'm saying is that this person would have kept the peace. Right. I'm okay with the peace being disturbed to make sure that, hey, to let you know that I'm not liking what's happening.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yes, I do.
No more metal straws. No, it's not happening.
Every time I pick up the cup, I see your face.
Yeah, because it's crazy.
I can't hear it the way you hear it.
Oh yeah. You know why I'm hearing it? I'm hearing it as a listener that's like, what the fuck is that?
Jingling noise.
What is that noise? Oh, it's a metal straw in a glass cup.
Who thought that was a good idea?
I don't know. It's like a toddler's dream.
For real.
Right. And now you're approaching the bottom of the drink. Just go ahead and make all the noises at the bottom. Go do it right now.
No, stop it. I wasn't gonna slurp it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Okay. Now, if I was any other kind of man, I would have just let that happen and just like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. Yeah.
Oh,
And you know what too? I think that the beta men out there, eh, they can still be extremely confident in bed.
for
Man,
sure.
get the fuck out of here.
I know. That's why I chuckled when I read it.
Yeah, get the
Careful and
fuck out of here.
considerate in the sheets.
Yeah, that's just like I think an alpha could be careful and considerate in the sheets. I think there's
Right.
room for in the
Exactly.
sheets. If you're one thing in the sheets all the time, you're doing in the sheets wrong. You
Right. Yeah.
you can't be the grab her by the hair and fuck her hard every time you have sex with your
Right,
woman.
exactly.
It's just unless that's how she wants it, then it is what it is. But
I just think it's just reading the room altogether,
right,
and that means being present.
mm-hmm, right,
And I think men all across the board are capable of that
mm-hmm,
if they want to be.
right. And then of course, I'm just nitpicking, but when she says something like extremely confident in the bedroom, well, what is
What
confident
does that
even
even
mean?
look like? Yeah.
Because you could be confident about being
And
shit
still
at
be
something.
trash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And there are a lot of people out there that are very confident about men and women. I've never slept with men, but I can say there are a lot of women out there,
We're very confident
and
as well.
I'm sure men are the same because I have never ran into a guy and we've had conversations about sex. I've never ran into a guy that seriously said, "Yeah, I'm actually kind of trash in bed."
Right.
Like, I don't last very long. You get maybe 2 minutes out of me
Right.
sometimes. I've never heard anyone say that,
Yeah.
which means somebody's lying.
Right.
Somebody's lying.
Somebody somewhere
Every guy that I've ever
is
talked
great
to
in
about
bed.
sex is great. They make their women come every single time, and they last forever. And da, 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 da,
Right.
and yeah, no one's being. So they're all confident. At least they appear to be.
Right.
But women are the same way. At least,
Yeah,
yeah.
I would
The
think so.
women I've interacted with, like, oh, I'm XYZ, and I was like, okay,
Okay.
the fuck ever. So yeah. But that's just nitpicking, just to nitpick. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on? I felt like there was more that could have been said that we're leaving on the table.
Let me see.
Maybe not.
I'm looking at it.
Boom, 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 boom. I wonder if these actually like went head to head, like assertive, clear about what they want, relax.
I think they did.
Oh, they did. Okay.
I think so.
Oh, that'd been nice to just read it that way.
Well, okay.
So because I let it, it's on me now, right?
Listen, I asked you how you wanted to do
Is
it.
that why you asked?
I
The way
did.
you asked it?
I did, yeah. Because I saw that when I read
Yeah,
it, and
no,
I was like, okay, well, this would be good. Like, but okay. I love how that happened. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. There you have it.
I'm reading her caption. So I don't think I had read it before. Yeah, it says here, which male personality type do you want and which one do you belong with? Because I think there's a difference, which is, women need to be real about that too. Like, even if it sounds great on paper, where do you really think that you can compliment
Mm-hmm.
or handle? You have to be honest with yourself about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I would think probably especially in conflict.
I would love to see research that shows the successful marriages that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
The successful ones, right? I would love to see them line up men,
Mm-hmm.
right? Do personality testings And then based on all the personality tests and the test results, how many of those are quote unquote the beta men and how many of them are quote unquote the alphas? And I would imagine that in 2022, I would imagine that the betas will probably have a higher rate of successful marriage, because this kind of geared towards where women are nowadays
I
as
agree.
far as being independent
I
people,
agree.
and just people in general, both men and women being
Mhm.
independent in all aspects
Right.
without the need of, a partner. So now if you do decide to get married and have a partnership with that person, then it's a true partnership.
Right.
And typically deciding or not even deciding, but assuming the alpha role, and this is what I need to be, because if you are that alpha, you're not going to accept anyone trying to out alpha you. It's not
Right.
going to fucking work at all,
Right.
right? It's just not.
Right.
Just not. You're going to run into problems,
Yeah.
which would then be my point to say that if they did with divorced men, I would imagine that the higher rate would be alpha males probably have a higher rate of divorce than the betas. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Or in out of the divorced men, there will probably
Mhm.
be more alphas that are
I would
left.
assume that less alphas are quick to marry than that would be where my thought would
Okay. Okay, then that would be better.
be. Yeah.
Not married and or divorce. I don't know how this study will go, but so I guess
Yeah.
the easier poll will be for the people that are successfully married today
Mhm.
in this new generation and the women. Then, and by women I just mean, of course, how just people are as far as women, comparing women today versus how they were in the 50s, 60s, 70s,
Yeah.
right? Beta, that beta male trait, or at least expressing and being, or their role in a relationship being closer aligned with
Would
that,
work more with what a
will
modern
work more.
day
Yeah.
woman looks like.
Mhm,
I would
exactly.
agree.
And that's not to say that the woman is in the lead. I'm just saying that
Yeah,
those two
no, especially
personalities
if we're
being
looking at
agreeable and yada yada yada, and
right.
just all that breakdown, that would be,
I
again,
agree.
not to say that she's wearing the pants. No one's the alpha. You're
Correct.
both,
Equal. I
equal.
think it said something like that in here, didn't
It
it?
did.
Yeah.
Like equality. It said equality.
Yeah.
It doesn't think you're above anyone else, but there's
Mhm.
equality and yada yada yada.
Mhm. Yeah. I don't know what I was looking for. But yes.
Versus,
Yeah, treats others as their equal and doesn't value power struggles.
right. So that means that would be your spouse in a relationship. Right. So I would imagine that the flip would be true about marriages in the 50s, 60s, 70s, right? That alpha would have been the one, or that personality type, not personality type. Let's be more safe. What you're putting off, the energy that
Mhm.
you're putting off,
Mhm.
or how you wanted to display yourself, that would have been the male men personality trait of that time
Right. Versus now.
versus now.
Right.
Yep. Yep. How long did we go? A little bit longer than I expected us to go.
Getting hot.
Yep. You ready to get out of here? Is there anything else you wanted to touch on?
No, I
Yeah,
think that
we're
was
good. We're solid. We're going to get back on the mic here in the next day or two anyway.
Okay.
So we can address anything that we didn't address. But
Okay.
thank you for listening. Thank you for your patience. We apologize for the delay for anyone out there that likes to open up the podcast app or wherever you listen to a Spotify and see our picture there with a new episode. We failed you. We failed you this week. But this is our makeup pod for, so we will have one for next week, Lord willing.
Yeah.
Be released on time Thursday.
Yeah.
But thank you for rocking with us. This has been another episode of the Feelings First Facts Later podcast, a podcast where we saying shit, but we ain't saying shit. As always, I'm Nathan Mitchell, and I did this with Cristina.
Bye.
Peace.